Welcome to another episode of Sports Talk, everybody. I'm your host, Matty Do Big Things Grit. And as you probably heard, Chad Johnson has been cut by the Miami Dolphins. This comes after an altercation with his wife about a couple days ago. Evelyn Lozada, I don't know if you've heard of her. She's on Basketball Wives. So allegedly, Chad Johnson headbutted her, and he got arrested on a domestic charge, and a whole bunch of stuff went down. But later, on an episode of Hard Knocks, it was shown Chad Johnson with head coach of the Dolphins, who is Joe Philbin. He's the former offensive coordinator from the Green Bay Packers. It was shown their whole little conference they had about Chad Johnson obviously getting released from the Dolphins. And, what I want to talk about today is it was a kind of a sad moment. I feel bad for Chad Johnson. Obviously, he did some bad things. He obviously, hurt his wife. He put his hands on his wife. You don't do that kind of thing. As a man, you don't do that. But when you see a man in that position, and you can see, when I watched the video, you seen it in Chad Johnson's eyes that you kind of knew like this might be his last football season. Football does not excuse the fact that you can hit your wife or hit anybody, do any kind of illegal thing and get away with it. A lot of football players today, which as a Seahawk fan, as Marshawn Lynch, there's no excusing Marshawn Lynch from going out, getting drunk and driving and, completely disobeying the law. There's no excuse for that. And, as a Seahawk fan, I realize that if he has to miss time off the football field, that's what he deserves, because he broke the law. He could have killed somebody. Chad Johnson could have killed his wife. I doubt a headbutt could do it, but she could have had an aneurysm. She could have fell on the ground, bumped her head, and died. You never know what could happen. And there was honestly no excuse for that. He should be fired. But the part of me that has empathy for him is, when I see Joe Philbin talking to him, and, you see in Chad Johnson's eyes, like he knows it's coming, and he obviously regrets doing it. When you do something like that, you're obviously going to regret doing it. But just seeing it in his eyes and I read an article on the internet, and it's Johnson is never told by Philbin that he is going to be cut. He's just told that it's not going to work out right now. Things are obviously going to be split up into different sections, but just like seeing that in Chad Johnson's eyes, he's such a happy-go-lucky guy. I don't know him personally, obviously, but just to see that in his, and obviously you see he regrets it. I keep saying that he regrets it. It's a weird thing to see it in that kind of a guy. When it's like knowing a person your whole life, and like your best friend, and your best friend is always up happy and a great spirited person, and to have them do something bad when they rarely ever do something bad. Now I'm not saying Chad Johnson does a lot of great things. He's done a couple bad things in his career, and but it's like saying your best friend, who's always a great person, does something wrong and really regrets it. And, that he doesn't do a lot of things wrong, but just seeing that in his eyes and wow, he really regrets it. That's the kind of feeling I got from Chad Johnson. Now, like I said, it doesn't excuse anything he has done to his wife, but just, you have to have a little bit of compassion for the man. That's just how I feel. That's how I feel as a person. And you might not feel like that, but that's how I feel. So, Chad Johnson probably not going to be playing for the Miami Dolphins. Obviously not going to be playing for the Miami Dolphins. They're saying there's talks with the Cowboys, I don't think that's going to happen, honestly, but, it's honestly anything could happen. So thank you for listening, guys, to my opinion. It's been your boy, MattyGritt, as the host today of Sports Talk with Grit. Thank you for watching, guys. Always make sure to subscribe for more. Until next time. No matter what you do, always make sure to do big things.
Sports Talk with Grit! Sports Talk with Grit!